Hello.
Hello. I interviewed the amazing streamer and Fandubber ACozyKyriosity, or Kyhrii for short, to see what made her start doing fandubs, what made her change her VTuber personality so much, and a lot more that you wouldn't want to miss. Then I would say let's start off with the introductions.
My name is Kyhrii, and I'm just a floof who does a variety of content. And I'm still figuring it out. That's me.
When did you start streaming or making content?
In March, yes. 4 years ago. At least on Twitch. I've always probably made content, even when I was a little bean. I was definitely that type of person who was making videos, and also, it's crazy, like, ever since I kid you not, like 4 or 5, 6, I don't know, I started, like, directing my friends and making little plays. So I really have been making just whatever since I'm a kid. I like to create. I like to work with others and create things, yes.
Did anyone inspire you to start making content? Or streaming?
Oh, streaming! Actually, what is funny is I didn't know anything about Twitch or the streaming community. I didn't watch Twitch. And during COVID, my friend, Baraka, he mentioned that I should stream. And I was like, eh. And I learned about Vtubing, and I was trying to get my friends to like come with me. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be really cool. But they weren't very interested at the time, so I just threw myself in by myself, and I was like, I'm gonna stream and learn the things. And the first thing I did was a stream without a camera, because I didn't have a VTuber or anything at that point. And I played Dead by Daylight, and I had no idea what I was doing. I literally was so just naive. I didn't know what a sub was. Like, I didn't know what Twitch culture was. But yeah, that's when I started.
If you were to restart completely from the beginning with no subs, no views or anything, what would you have done differently compared to when you actually started?
Oh man, I felt like it's sort of weird, but I feel like my approach actually helped me be way more authentic, because I didn't understand kind of the ropes. So it was kind of nice to just go into it without any expectations, because a lot of times that's where you find more success, because you're doing what you want to do. You're not trying to conform yourself into something that you think you should be, right? But if I could give, like, you're saying like advice, like if I could do something different, I would say for sure, okay, this is something for sure, is I'm pretty good with boundaries, but I would have even had more boundaries coming out of the gate. You know what I mean? I would have just been a little bit more educated about people in the world of streaming and how you need to protect yourself and that. So that's probably the biggest thing. Just like more boundaries from the get-go. Mm-hmm.
What was the reasoning behind you starting to interview other VTubers yourself?
I actually interviewed people before I was ever a VTuber. So I had a little channel, what was it? Not long, like, okay, it is actually long ago, but like, I did a channel where I interviewed creative businesses. And it was just a side project for me, just something fun I wanted to try. And it was really cool reaching out to those people, meeting other people as well, because I'm an ambivert, but I thrive off of meeting people. I generally want to hear about the lore, the stories. I just like people. And I really like creative people and just hearing what they have to say, where they got, because I think that once you see there's so many ways to let your creative freak fly, I guess, freak flag fly, it's just inspiring. I just have always been sociable, I guess. And I think that it's just a skill I've always had, is, again, working with others, talking with others. And I try to make a space where they feel comfortable and can actually feel like they can be real instead of kind of on guard. So, because it's hard in a community of cloud chasers to be for real. And it's sad. There's good people too, of course, but obviously networking can turn into cloud chasing real fast, you know?
Absolutely. How did you come up with all of your various usernames, like PandaPat, Kyhrii, and now ACozyKyriosity?
Yeah, so PandaPat was literally just random. I was just like, They like to give VTuber head pats. I'm a panda pat. Like, that literally was the logic. I was like, because I actually won my original model, my Vroid model. And that's just kind of the design it came out as. And I was like, cool, that's what I am now. Of course, the colors I wanted and stuff, but it really was the artist, my original artist's view. The names, so Panda Pat was just from sheer luck. Kyhrii was a deep lore based. So I think Tyr, if I remember right, I don't even remember. Look at me being like, I don't know my own lore. Ooh. Okay, no, but Tyr I think is a Norse god of war, but victory and justice, I do believe. Ooh, don't quote me on that. And then Kyhrii, I do believe, is a measurement of unit in astronomy for 1,000 years. Because originally my model's lore was they were an interdimensional being who had lived for over 1,000 years. And to her interdimensional being race, it was just kind of play on of like you're named not by like individuality, but how long you've lived, basically. That was it. That was the thing. And then ACozyKyriosity was just a play on Kyr, right? Because everyone called me Kyr and Kyhrii. And I thought that was good branding. And then it was too long. And let me give advice to anyone else. Don't make your name long. It's so hard in every situation. So I just shortened it to Kyhrii. It's always, it's interesting when it comes to that, because I've rebranded a few times, but mine has never been because drama or anything else. It's just I've been streaming for 4 years and I had the opportunity to kind of evolve. I think it's really cool that people can kind of really solidify their identity with their first OC they make. I can't. But they've all had similar themes, you know. They've all had connections. They've all had similar things. But mine has just been like growing to, you know, the next step, basically.
What got you into VTubing?
I mean, I was like, we can be anime now, basically. I mean, I used to cosplay, and so my life has been in anime for a long time. So when I found that we could have OCs come to life and be anime now, I was like, dang, that's cool. And that's really the reason. I was like, wow, we can be anime now. Sweet.
How long have you been a VTuber now?
Oh man, 4 years. That's it. But it is interesting because I was part of the original wave of, I would say, indie VTubers, past, you know, the really OGs. So 4 years ago is really where it picked up. And so I would consider myself first, if not second wave of indie VTubers, and it was very different back then. I recall that like our community was so small. We could basically, all of us could get to know each other, and it was really fun. At the beginning, everyone just wanted to make friends. We were all just like reaching out to each other, being like, you're a nerd, I'm a nerd. And we were all just holding hands and being like, wee, you know, which is so much different from today. There's a new VTuber. It's like a K-pop group. There's a new VTuber every other month. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you? I've never met you. There's so many people I haven't met now, you know, because it's so popular.
How have your different versions of your model came to be, and what led you to want to go from a panda VTuber to a cloud VTuber, now back to a panda VTuber?
Panda VTubers because I like pandas. Cloud because I had this really beautiful video that was done by Gomi, which kind of encapsulated what I like to be, which is kind of a free spirit who's also a dreamer, and a cloud girl just fit that, you know? Very floofy. And the floofy theme has always been throughout my entire design. It's just floof, you know? And then I went back to green because I missed the ears. I missed the floof. And now I'm like, nah, I'm done with all of it. I'm going human. So that's actually hilarious. So basically, I was just like, this is fun. I'm done. This is fun. I'm done. But what's fun about the human model is I can always add assets. You know what I mean? I could always add ears as a redeem. I could always add something to it. So really, I think the human version is going to be the best version because I can just add whatever I want when I want. And I think really I wanted a model. I wanted to do a human model because I think that all these model, you can still garner many fans, of course, no matter what your VTuber model looks like. But there was a part of me that was like, I think having a human model will be more approachable for like outer audiences. And that's like my kind of goal, is to appeal beyond the VTuber base. Hopefully, I don't know.
did you think when first starting VTubing or even when coming back to VTubing that you would have garnered the audience you have now?
I never expected anything, so it was all weird. It was all so weird. Mine is very strange because I have changed. I think I did a lot of, I had a lot of life changes during my 4 years of just like real life, right? There was some growing, some maturity of thought, all of that. So my changes always reflected that. And I would get kind of a newer audience each time, right? And I've lost it as well because of those changes. So I've not only gained, but lost. And it's a weird feeling because you're like, oh, am I doing something wrong? What's going on? I was gonna say, what was interesting about the question is like, sometimes I have people, like when I go visit streams and stuff, they react to me as if I'm a big streamer. And I'm like, what? My dude, I'm just, my numbers have always been kind of like all over the place. And I've never considered myself a big streamer. But am I grateful for any audience I have? Absolutely. But I did want to build a community that supported each other. That was actually the beginning. My whole purpose of my audience at the time was to help other creators, grow. Like, have fun, grow a supportive place. And, I felt like in that early stages, I helped in some way, which was, like, really important to me. Always helping others is really important to me, so, yeah.
How long have you been doing Fandubs?
Oh, that just started, I think, last year. Technically, I've done little projects for my friends, I should say, like, maybe in the past. It's hard to remember now. I'm a million years old, but it's no, I think I've done something perhaps in the past, but this is my first time doing it really for myself, which is what my channel is about. So a year.
Interesting. And what got you to start doing Fandubs, especially from what I've looked at Hasbin Hotel?
So it's interesting because this comes from shipping, because I'm shipper trash anyway, and I'll always be shipper trash until I'm dead. So when the new show was coming out, I noticed that lately there's been, like, shipper wars have always happened, right? And I've noticed people who ship Charlie and Alistair from, like, I would say the original pilot were getting very, very bullied. And they were starting to feel unsafe online, which is just crazy because it's a fictional character. Like, what? I don't like bullies. Like, that really bothers me. And so I'm just going to make a very, like, quick video about why I made a post. Like, it was random. It just made a random post of how I want to make this video. And suddenly the community was like, make it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where did you all show up from? And I was like, okay, I'll make this video. And I made it. And it gave people, like, a safe place, which is really important to me. Safe places is, like, super important to me. So after I did that, I'm like, I think fighting fire with fire is just like a losing battle, like yelling at people or getting mad or whatever. So instead of putting energies there, it's like, just create more of your favorite ship, just create more, use your energies for good and create more. So that was kind of my reason. And what that led to is now I've actually done some auditions for actual other projects for voice acting. I've met people, other voice actors in the industry randomly, and just having said like, oh yeah, I do dubs on the internet. They were like, oh, and then we had something in common and I was like, that's crazy. Like, so that's how I got into dubbing, and it's been really fun. It utilizes a lot of my skill set, which is just, organizing others, making something creative with a group, etc. so forth.
Will you do Fandubs outside of just Hasbin Hotel, or will you just stay with Hasbin Hotel for now?
It depends, because I pay my artists, my editors, all of that, so it is a chunk of money. It is a net loss, right, to make them. But I love them, so so I like to make them, and it's my money, so who cares? But I think that, yeah, I want to, but I have to be passionate about it, right? There are other ones I would be so open to doing, but the story's got to be right. You know what I mean? It's got to grip me. It's got to be like, I got to feel like, oh, we got to make this, Because I think it's like someone who's choosing, like, out of a bunch of scripts to do a movie, it really has to speak to you, But I do want to do other dubs of our comics. I actually don't want to be in all of them as a voice actor. I just want to direct them. You know what I mean? Like, some I can voice some characters, but it's more, I like to direct. So I'm like, I want to put the pieces into place and be like, go do the things. I like people using their strengths. admire that and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm open to it, but it's like something has to like, it has to be like almost like a webtoon I read that hasn't been dubbed yet. And I'm like, oh, we gotta dub this. Or like something else that really grips my imagination. I think that the people who do best at creating their content are really passionate about it and understand it. And a big shout out to Yoon-soo, who's our Korean comic artist for Charleston. She just gave us like everything. She's like, I'll give you everything, the insights, this. Because you want to make something that the author is going to be like, oh yeah, that was my, vision. Some of the authors don't care. They're just like, go do what you want to do. But to me, it really matters to take it like serious. I don't know. That's the best way to put it, to like try to do our best with it, because it's a performance. And then I think if you have respect for it, what's being created, you're going to make a good show. Yeah.
Did you ever have a burnout?
Oh, yeah. 4 years as a streamer? Oh yeah, anyone does. I think I lasted a bit longer. My stuff came from also real life stuff, right? But I always had burnouts. And it gets worse with just how... I feel like there is a common occurrence where like we've been doing this for a long time and like you can only do the same thing for so long. You have to evolve, right? Or it just doesn't feel... Some people can stay in it, but a lot of us burn out because there's a huge expectation. VTubers have to be their own editors. We have to post on like 5 different platforms. We have to make side content. We have to stand out. We have to like make our own panels, do this, do that, do that. You could burn out for a million reasons. Because that, surprisingly enough, streaming isn't just as simple as turning on the camera, especially if you're a VTuber,
Yeah, absolutely. I know that from like personal experience for myself. I think like around the time of like 2023, it was almost like I vanished for like 5 or 6 months straight off of like all of my socials, and I felt really bad also at the same time, because while I was extremely burnt out and was just completely gone, I did my interview with CZR, another like really great like streamer, and I just left that like in the dust for like multiple months. And there were like some stuff that we discussed, which he then already like released at the same time as well. And yeah, so at some point I like want to do like, I kind of want to like remaster, like redo the interview at some point, because I still feel really bad that I left on that for like 7 months straight.
I mean, I totally get that, because I've dropped interviews too. Like my whole podcast that was planned, because everything's changing. I will have to redo them and I feel really bad about it. But at the same time, if you let them know, if you apologize, life happens.
Were you in a position where you were close to fully quitting?
Oh, absolutely. That was probably last year. How to explain this? So to be a content creator, you have to kind of follow like how to get to your audience, right? And it can burn you out really, really fast. But also for me, I don't like doing things that make me feel ingenuine, right? And unfortunately, while that's going on, I was also surrounded by people who didn't have my best interests at heart. And that affected me really greatly. And I felt like I made mistakes. I wasn't who I really felt like I was. And I was also having like lots of real life drama. Familiar drama. People know how it is. Life just kind of happens, right? And seeing how many people were just willing to be so insincere, it really hurt when you really just wanted to make friends and be real, and then finding over time that a lot of them just weren't that, right? So just people not acting what I consider like how they would in real life here on the online, it really hurt, because like as for me, I tried to make genuine connections. And what my thing was is I took a hiatus because life happened. I got away from the people who were causing me harm. I did self-reflection, made amends for like maybe stupid choices I had made during being a streamer. And then I came back and then I was like, this is actually gonna be my last year really trying for content creation, because I may have, other paths open to me. I've talked about it a lot. I want to do more service projects for others. I do like serving others. And there's ways to serve people in content creation for sure, but I haven't found my where exactly my content needs to be right now. I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing, but that's what happens. You grow, you learn. But that's when I wanted to quit, is when I was just, you spend so much time with people and the scene, and when you find the scene's like, man, this is really not, it's not really important. all the drama, all the games. It's not important, and you don't. And some people thrive of it. Some people are like, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm not one of those people. And we're all human. We all make mistakes, but that's why it's really important to have balance outside of streaming. And so that's what I'm finding more so. And that's made things a lot healthier. That's made it so I've had the ability to come back, was taking the break.
Was it difficult for you when you first stopped VTubing to later come back as Kyhrii?
It wasn't difficult, but I realized even through Kyhrii, I hadn't changed enough to where I wanted. I came back and people came back and it was great, As always, if you plan kind of a re-debut or a comeback and people are there to support you, you're like, oh man, I might have the momentum this time. But a lot of times it drops off again. There was no fear of coming back per se, but after feeling like, man, I've had a healthy break, I'm feeling better, all of this, but it still doesn't feel right, that was kind of the disappointment. You know what I mean? And then I realized, which it took me all the way even to now to be like, this is like, you've had a hard time breaking away of what people expect you to do to just do what you want to do. And I feel like the dub channel was a huge step in the right direction. And then lately I've just been doing whatever I want, which is great. But sometimes it's not because you have a mixed audience. A lot of people followed you for previous stuff, don't follow you now. And it's hard because you're not like building a consistent group, right? So the next iteration is to really just build what I really am, and I think I've gotten to that point. So we'll see.
Alrighty. So, for those who don't know how the surprise questions work, is that I will send you a video of the previous person I interviewed and who asked questions, and after you answer, you ask questions for the next person I'll be interviewing, but that part where you ask the questions will be cut out of the video entirely, so the next person can't check in the video what the questions are going to be.
That's cool, that's neat.
Yeah, and the previous person that I interviewed was Lady Zerodog, and they asked you these questions.
Alright, so those are the questions. So now I gotta ask 3 questions, or is it 2 or 3 questions?
You can ask however many questions you like.
I like her voice.
Okay, let me think. So, next person who's gonna be interviewed, whoever you may be.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing good.
So my question's for you. What is your favorite stream moment? And not even just your favorite stream moment. If you do like just regular content creation, just making YouTube videos, what's your favorite moment of the content creation that you've made? Like absolute favorite moment. Well, okay, we'll do this. What is your favorite game that you love to stream? And if you're not really that kind of streamer, like what kind of content do you like to do the most? Like, what would you say would be your absolute favorite thing to do? And I think those would be my my 2 questions. I'll do a cop-out question. What's your favorite color? He did favorite food. I can do favorite color.
I mean, fair enough.
Okay, so favorite, I think she said favorite content moment? Yeah. Oh, my favorite, okay, so it's asking what my favorite moment of content creation I made. Oh man, I think I've made a lot. I'm very proud of the events I did as a streamer. And what I did is the whole purpose of them was to make friends. It was to do event to more, because again, networking is kind of hard in the community without coming off the wrong way. And I did these events for people to get to know each other, to have a fun time. I actually attempted a huge singing concert, which, went way too long. But everyone was super nice and, showed up. And it ended up being still like a really cool event. But it was just like way too long, way too long of a time. But yeah, no, my events, bringing people together, and they made friends from that. And that was sincerely like the thing I'm most proud of is bringing people together. So the content I like to do, I like talking to people. I like when we just talk to each other in deep conversate. I also like playing Marvel Rivals right now. Besides deep conversation, I really have a sincere love for indie games. Indie games have so much emotion, flexibility in what kind of content they can do. Honestly, I would choose an indie game over any major studio game. Favorite color is green. I love this person. Who is this person? I love them. Their attitude is so good. But yes, green, red, and purple are probably my favorite colors.
Alrighty, then we are at the end of the interview. If you like, you can go ahead and promote anything of your channel if you'd like.
If you want Charlister dubs, I do that on my channel. Kyhrii dubs. But honestly, I have nothing to promote because I'm really on my new phase that is coming up. Just if you see me around, come say hi. Bye-bye. But thanks for interviewing me. That was fun and chill. And chill.
Yeah.
Very casual. Very nice. Very fun.
After the interview with Kyhrii, I now know she became a VTuber because of the anime aspect and built a supportive community that also arrives even from outside the VTubing sphere. And if you want to know how Lady Zero Dark started her journey as streamer and artist, be sure to check out this video right here.